My fiancée smirked and said, "Marriage is just a piece of paper. If I find someone else, I'll have fun." I nodded and said, "Of course." The next morning, she reached for her engagement ring. Her finger was bare, her closet was empty, and the wedding was cancelled. I never thought I'd be sharing this, but recent events have left me reeling, and I need to get this off my chest. Maybe someone out there can relate, or offer some insight. I'm Jake, 34, living in Seattle. For the past 3 years, I've been with Laura, 32. We met at an art exhibition in Capitol Hill. The connection was immediate. Laura's a graphic designer, full of life and creativity. Our relationship felt like it was straight out of a movie. After 2 years together, I proposed during a weekend trip to the San Juan Islands. We were at Lime Kiln Point State Park, watching the sunset. It was the perfect moment. She said yes, and we started planning our future. We moved into an apartment in Belltown. Life seemed perfect. Wedding plans were in full swing. Then, about 6 months before the wedding, everything changed. One evening, we were relaxing at home, talking about our future. Out of nowhere, Laura said, "Marriage is just a piece of paper. If I find someone else, I'll have fun." She smirked as she said it. I was stunned. I asked her to explain. She shrugged and said she believed in enjoying life and not being tied down, even in marriage. I didn't know what to say. That night I couldn't sleep. Her words kept echoing in my mind. The next morning, I made a decision. While she was still asleep, I took her engagement ring off her finger, packed my things, and left. I canceled the wedding and informed our families. Laura was shocked when she woke up. She called and texted repeatedly, but I didn't respond. I needed time to think. Eventually, we met at a park in Queen Anne. She was in tears, apologizing, saying she didn't mean it. But I couldn't ignore what she'd said. It wasn't something I could just forget. It's been a few weeks now. I'm staying with a friend, trying to figure out my next steps. I still love Laura, but trust has been broken. I don't know if we can move past this. A week after that talk in the park, I was still living out of a suitcase at my friend Chris's place in Ballard. I was barely sleeping, barely eating. My phone stayed on silent, face down, because every time I saw Laura's name, my chest tightened. Then something weird happened. Chris got a DM on Instagram from a fake-looking account. Just one sentence. Jake doesn't know half of it. No name, no picture, nothing else. Chris showed it to me, and I tried to play it off like it was someone messing around. But I couldn't shake the feeling. That night, I couldn't stop thinking. Half of what? I knew Laura had friends who partied hard, and she was always the wild one in the group. Maybe she was cheating already and that comment she made was just her slipping up. I did something I never thought I'd do. I logged into her iPad. It was still synced to our shared Apple account because she used it more for Netflix than anything else. I looked through her iMessages. My hands started to sweat the moment I opened the app. There were chats with her bridesmaid, Megan. I scrolled. Most of it was harmless, makeup, dresses, drama about the venue. But then I saw something that made my stomach drop. A message from Laura. "I swear to God, if Jake ever finds out about Austin, everything's F*** edition. Austin. I hadn't heard that name in a while. He was her co-worker. She used to talk about him like he was harmless, kind of a nerd. I remember her once saying, "He wears socks with sandals, like a 50-year-old dad." I didn't think twice. But now I had questions. I dug deeper. I saw deleted messages, but some still popped up in the iPad cache. Stuff like, "He was better last night than he was in Portland." I felt kinda bad, but then I remembered Jake's too boring to care. Maybe I should just marry Jake and still have fun on the side. I felt like I'd been punched in the throat. My ears were ringing. I couldn't read anymore. The betrayal was one thing, but the way she joked about it, like I was just some fool waiting at the altar, that burned. I couldn't sleep that night. I stared at the ceiling thinking about all the times she said she loved me. every plan we made. All the while, she was laughing behind my back. In the morning, I took screenshots of everything and sent them to her with one line. Now I know what you meant by having fun. No reply. Hours passed. Then, late that night, a message came through. Jake, please don't do this. It wasn't serious. It was just once. I panicked. Can we talk? Once? She mentioned Portland. That was a year ago. We had gone to visit her parents, and she said she stayed back an extra day for me time. I remember feeling weird about it, but I trusted her. Turns out she wasn't with her mom. She was with Austin. Now everything made sense. Her sudden cold spells. The nights she claimed to be working late. Even the weird vibe at her office Christmas party when Austin shook my hand like he knew something I didn't. I didn't respond to her message. I didn't want to talk. I wanted answers. Real ones. So I made a call to Megan, her bridesmaid. She was always a little more loyal to me than the rest of Laura's friends. When she picked up, she sounded nervous. Megan, I said, just tell me the truth. How long has this been going on? Silence. Then she sighed and said, Jake, if you're asking, you already know. It started before you proposed. It's been off and on. He's not the only one. My heart dropped. Wait. What do you mean not the only one? She told me she never wanted to get married. Said she felt trapped. But she liked the attention. She liked being engaged. I sat on the floor, phone in hand, unable to move. Everything I thought I knew was just gone. The life I was planning with her, the wedding, the home, it was all fake. A story she was playing out until it got boring. Then Megan dropped the final bomb. She was planning to move to LA. After the wedding. Said she needed a break from Seattle. She wanted to see what else was out there. I think she was going to leave you, Jake. And just like that, the woman I thought I was going to spend my life with turned into someone I didn't recognize. I haven't told anyone else yet. Not my parents. Not even Chris. The day after I spoke with Megan, I stayed in bed until noon, phone turned off. My head was a mess. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw Laura's face. Not the real Laura, the one I thought I knew. The one who used to laugh at dumb movies with me, who decorated our Christmas tree barefoot in the middle of the night, who once cried watching a dog food commercial. That version of her had died the moment I read those messages. Then something even crazier happened. Around 2 p.m., I finally turned my phone back on. 10 missed calls from Laura. A couple texts from Chris asking if I was okay. And one voicemail, from an unknown number. It was Austin. Yeah. Him. He sounded shaky, like he'd rehearsed what he wanted to say but still wasn't sure if it was smart to leave the message. Jake. Hey man, I know you probably don't want to hear from me, but I need you to know something. Laura told me she was single. I didn't know you two were engaged. I found out last month and ended it immediately. I swear, man. I didn't know. And there's something else you should know, but I can't say it over voicemail. If you want to meet, I'll tell you everything. I played it 3 times, trying to catch any hint of BS. But he sounded nervous. Like he really had no clue. I didn't want to meet him. The idea of sitting across from the guy who slept with my fiancée made me sick. But curiosity won. We met at a coffee shop near his office in downtown Seattle. Neutral ground. I was early. He showed up 5 minutes late, looking like he hadn't slept in days. Pale, stubble on his face, bags under his eyes. Jake, he said, nodding awkwardly. I didn't say anything. Just stared at him. He sat down and took a deep breath. I messed up. I believed her when she said you were just roommates. That it was over. I'm not proud of it. I stayed quiet. Then he dropped something I never saw coming. She told me she was pregnant. My heart stopped. He kept going. This was like maybe 3 months ago. She told me she was keeping it, But she didn't want to tell you because it'd ruin her freedom. Her word, not mine. Pregnant? 3 months ago? I did the math in my head. That was right before I proposed. That weekend trip. She got sick one morning, said it was something she ate. I didn't think much of it. I finally spoke. Did she have it? He shook his head. I don't know. She ghosted me not long after. That's when I started piecing things together. I saw the engagement photos online. That's when I found out. My mind was spinning. What the hell was real? Was Laura pregnant? Did she lie to both of us? Did she lose the baby or get rid of it, or was there even a baby at all? I left without saying another word. 2 days later, Laura showed up at Chris's place. I wasn't expecting her. She stood in the hallway, eyes puffy, holding a box of my stuff, old books, a hoodie, a watch I thought I'd lost months ago. Can we talk? She asked. Chris stepped out, giving us space. I didn't invite her in. We stood there, just staring at each other. I don't want excuses, I said. She nodded slowly. You deserve the truth. And then she admitted everything. Yes, she cheated. More than once. Yes, with Austin, and 2 others. One was a guy she met at a bachelorette party in Vegas. The other? Her ex from college. She reconnected with him at a design conference in Vancouver last spring. Said it was just a weekend thing. I couldn't believe how calm she was, like she was giving a weather report. Then I asked her the big one. Were you pregnant? She looked me dead in the eyes. Yes. Silence. But I lost it, she said. I didn't tell anyone. Not even Austin. I didn't know whose it was, Jake. My legs felt weak. I had to sit down. She sat too. I thought if I married you, it would fix everything. You were always safe. You loved me more than anyone ever did. And I hated myself for ruining that. I couldn't look at her. Then she pulled something out of her pocket. A folded note. I wrote this the day you left, she said. I was too ashamed to send it. Maybe it doesn't matter anymore, but... She handed it to me, stood up, and walked away. I didn't open it. Not then. I don't even know if I want to. Now I'm sitting here, staring at a piece of paper that could change everything again. And I'm starting to wonder how much more of the truth is out there. Because with Laura, it feels like every time I think I've hit bottom, the floor drops out again. I didn't open the note right away. For 3 days, it sat on the table next to Chris's old lava lamp, untouched. I avoided it like it was radioactive. I went to work, came home, said nothing. Chris didn't ask either. He could tell I was hanging by a thread. But then Friday came, and something inside me cracked. Maybe it was exhaustion. Maybe I just needed to know how deep this went. So I unfolded the note. It was written in Laura's messy cursive. No greeting. No. Dear Jake. Just raw, disjointed thoughts. I don't know why I ruin everything I touch. You were the only person who ever saw me for more than my art, my body, or my wild side. But I couldn't stop. I didn't know how. I wanted to be the person you believed I was, but I kept slipping. Every time I was with someone else, I told myself it didn't matter, because I'd always come back to you. I know that's sick. I know I broke something in you. I just wanted to matter. To someone. To you. If you hate me forever, I get it. If you never speak to me again, I deserve that. I just wanted you to know it was never about not loving you. I did. I do. That might make it worse. I'm sorry. I stared at it for a long time. Then I laughed. The kind of laugh that isn't funny. The kind you let out when your heart's so hollow it echoes. That night, I went to a dinner party Chris had already RSVP'd to before the breakup blew up. It was at Rachel's place. She's an old college friend of his who lived over in Green Lake. I almost didn't go, but I needed something to distract me. That party ended everything. I walked in, made small talk, tried to blend into the noise of the room. Then I saw Megan, Laura's bridesmaid. My stomach turned. She looked surprised to see me. Jake, she said cautiously. Hey. You good? Still breathing, I muttered. She looked uncomfortable. So you heard? Heard what? She blinked. That Laura's in LA. I felt like the floor tilted under me. What? She left yesterday. Packed up, said she needed to clear her head. Said she was starting over? I didn't know what I expected, but not that. No goodbye. No explanation. Just gone. I turned away and went straight to the kitchen for water. And that's when I saw Austin. He was sitting in the corner with a beer in hand, clearly not expecting to see me either. I walked over. Not to fight. Just to look him in the eye again. You knew she left? He nodded. She texted me. Told me to take care of myself. That all? He looked away. Jake, she told me something else before she left. About the baby. I froze. She said she made it up? That there never was one. Everything went silent. She said it was the only thing that made you pause. That you might forgive her if you thought there was a bigger reason behind it all. She said she couldn't live with being hated without some kind of story. It felt like my ribcage caved in. Someone nearby dropped a plate. People laughed, music kept playing. The world kept spinning while I stood there, trying not to pass out. I walked outside and stood on the front steps. Megan followed me. Jake, she said gently. You didn't deserve any of this. I nodded, but I didn't feel it. She used to talk about you like you were her anchor. But Laura, she's a storm. She doesn't know how to be still. I let the word settle. She's broken, Megan said. And she breaks people. That doesn't mean you have to carry her pieces. That night, I went home and took off the hoodie Laura returned to me. I realized I didn't want it anymore. It smelled like our old apartment, like lavender detergent and lies. I threw it in the trash. The next morning, I booked a solo weekend trip to Whidbey Island. No phone. No emails. Just the sound of waves and wind and the aching space where she used to be. I needed quiet. I needed to breathe without memories wrapping around my throat. And sitting by the beach, watching the sun vanish behind a wall of gray clouds, I finally let myself cry. Not for her. For me. For the version of myself that trusted too deeply. For the future I planned. For the hours I'd never get back. It didn't bring peace. Not yet. But it felt real. I've learned that love, real love, doesn't leave questions. It doesn't smirk at the idea of commitment, or treat devotion like a joke. It doesn't run away in the night. I don't know if I'll love again. Right now I'm tired. But I'm not broken. And that might be the most honest thing I've ever said.